Mahatma Gandhi said, "The world has enough for everyone's need, but not for anyone's greed." Hi there, this is Gaurav Gupta, your life and business success strategist. Welcome to the Daily Snippets. Once upon a time, there lived a king who thought that he's a very just and a very noble king, because he thought that everybody in his kingdoms was very, very happy. The king already had 2 kingdoms, and he thought that the only way he can improve the world and make it a better place is by acquiring more kingdoms and implementing his own philosophies across the world. So he went ahead and he went on war and acquired more and more kingdoms. After a few years, he was tired and he was not really enjoying this entire process of acquiring kingdoms. So he thought there could be another way of being the king of this earth. He talked to his ministers, and that's when one of his ministers informed him that in one of the recent acquisitions or the recent kingdoms, there's a saint who has a magical kettle or a magical pot that grants wishes to the person who holds this kettle or pot. The king was very happy. He said, "Immediately please summon the saint." The saint was summoned to meet the king. The saint came. The king asked him, "Oh Holy One, I hear that you have a magical pot or a magical kettle that can grant wishes to the holder of the kettle. I command you to give that kettle to me because it is of no use for a saint like you." The saint smiled. He pulled out the kettle which was hanging by the side of him. He said, "Oh mighty one, I do have this kettle, but I tell you, this kettle is of no use for you. And also, this is the only possession I have, so I request you to kindly leave it with me." The king was not very happy with the answer. He became a little angry. He said, "I am your king and I demand that you give it to me." The saint said, "Oh great one, I can offer this to you, but I am telling you this is of no use to you, so kindly leave it with me." The king was furious, but being a noble and a just king, he did not say anything. The saint left. Later the king told his ministers that come what may, I want that kettle. So the ministers sent a bunch of soldiers. They beat up the saint and they got the kettle from him. The king immediately picked up the kettle, went inside a room and wanted to try the magic of the kettle. The king said, "Oh magical kettle." And the kettle replied, "Oh noble king." The king was happy. "Wow, this works. Let's try it." He said, "Oh magical kettle, I wish you give me 10 coins. The kettle said, "Oh noble one, why 10 coins? When a king of your nature, a noble king, can have 20 of them." The king was excited. "Wow, this works." He said, "Okay, go ahead and give me 40 coins. The kettle said, "Oh mighty one, why 40 coins? When a king of your nature can have 80 of them." The king was really happy. "Wow, this is working and this will grant me my wishes. Okay, go ahead and give me 1,000 coins, 2 princesses and 2 kingdoms." The kettle replied, "Oh great one, why just 1,000 coins? Why just 2 princesses and why just 2 kingdoms when a king of your nature can have 2,000 coins, 4 princesses and 4 kingdoms?" The king was excited, and this went on and on and on. The kettle had so much magic on the king that the king's greed was fueling more and more and more. And for 3 days, the king was just talking to the kettle, locked himself in the room. He did not eat anything, he did not drink anything, and he died in starvation. A very intriguing story, but a very important and a profound lesson for all of us. This king is not unique. Majority of human population today is just like this king. Human beings are supposed to be the most intelligent and the most evolved of the life forms on this planet. But we act as if we are not. Every single day, we are running behind material possessions. In our race to acquire more, to get more, to be more, to do more, we've converted this entire planet into a ball of fire. And still, majority of human population today is not happy at all. We are living in the best of times today. We have everything that is required for a happy human life, right from food, clothing, shelter, to healthcare, to communication, to connect, to entertainment. Anything and everything is available at our doorsteps or at our fingertips. But still, majority of human population is not happy. Human beings spend their health and their time to acquire loads and loads of money. And then they have to spend that money to acquire health and time. But they do not really get that. What kind of race is this? When you heard the story, I'm sure you would have smiled at what kind of king is he. He's just asking for more and more when he cannot even enjoy what he's having, and he died in the process. But we forget that majority of us are just like that king. We are just running behind our greed. What kind of a race is this? Rather than looking at life as a game, we've converted it into a fight, where at the end of the day, even if you become victorious, you'll not have health and time to enjoy it all. We all understand that our time on the earth is limited and the only time to enjoy is right now, but we act like that king, so much fueled and charged up by our greed that we forget everything else, and we are just destroying everything else, including our own peace, happiness and contentment. So if you want to really enjoy your life and make the most of the human experience on this planet, here are a few things you should do. Number one, be very mindful that you do not own this body and this planet. You've come here just for a little while. I'm sure you must have used Airbnb or any other similar services or rented a hotel accommodation. When you go to a hotel or an Airbnb apartment, you do not leave it worse than what you found it. You either leave it better or the same, because you understand there are implications of leaving it worse. Same is true when you come to this planet and in this body. You have to take care of this body, that's your duty, and you have to take care of this planet and leave it better than what you found it. That's your legacy for the generations to come. Number two, remember, as Mahatma Gandhi said, there's enough for everyone's need, but not for anyone's greed. Be very mindful and cautious of your nature, because greed is a basic human emotion. Be very mindful and cautious and do not let your greed take you over. Otherwise, you will just be spending your health and your time to acquire money, and later it will all be of no use. Number three, assess what you really require. I was listening to motivational trainer and author Bob Proctor the other day. Bob Proctor said that he's worked with millions of people across the globe, and he's found that there are only two things people really desire. Number one, they do not care about being wealthy. All that they care about is whatever they want, they should have enough money to go and buy that thing. They do not care about the model of a car, but if they want a car which is better than their current car, they should have the power to do that, and so on and so forth. And second thing is, everybody wants to be engaged in a pursuit that actually challenges their creative capabilities. Those are the only two things which people really desire. So I want you to assess, what do you really need? You don't need $1 billion or $1 million. All you need is sufficient money or sufficient possession for you and your family in this moment, not in distant future. So do not get into this horde of acquiring more when you do not have time to even enjoy that. Just assess what you need and just acquire that much. And lastly, I want you to remember that human beings are the most intelligent and the most powerful of all the species on the planet. And with great power comes great responsibility. It is your responsibility that you enjoy this life and you create something meaningful for others on the planet, and in that process make the entire planet a much better place, so that generations to come are happy with the legacy which you leave for them. And if you do that, I'm sure you'll celebrate life and you'll make most of the human experience that you have on this planet. I'll see you soon in my next video. Till then, stay blessed, keep rocking, and truly celebrate life. Thank you.